live. So welcome to episode 43 of TLC Tech Learn Coffee. I am your host along with Nancy Minicozzi. My name is Lisa Nowakowski, and I'm a fifth grade teacher in South Monterey County in California.
And I'm Nancy Minicozzi, an instructional tech coach in Northwest LA County, currently broadcasting live from Starbucks. Yay!
Yay.
And just a reminder, we have a 15-minute format because ain't nobody got time for more than that.
No, we don't. And so in honor of you being at Starbucks and in honor of them often spelling Micah's name wrong from what I understand, here's a little fun fact. So many of us have heard about the Starbucks secret menu, but did you know that among many of those items is a Christmas in a cup latte?
Whoa.
It is a latte with white mocha syrup and peppermint syrup. And then if you're feeling extra festive, you can get, wait for it, chocolate whipped cream. Who knew? So today's guest is Dr. Micah Shippee. Hi.
Hello.
And he will be talking to us about augmented reality, also known as AR. So Micah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, things like that?
Of course. Yeah. Hi, I'm Micah Shippee. I teach grade 7 social studies in Syracuse, New York, where we enjoy snow days and short winter breaks. I teach social studies, so I'm always looking for ways to bring historical content to life, and I've often found emergent technology is the key for that.
Excellent. So what exactly is AR or augmented reality?
So augmented reality is, I think, best understood as how it is different than virtual reality. So virtual reality, we envision something like Google Cardboard that takes you someplace else. Augmented reality adds to the place that you're in. So it literally augments your existing context by adding often three-dimensional content right in the place where you are.
That is so, I love that. It's so interesting. So what are some of the benefits of using this in your classroom? What do you say to people who just say it's just it's a toy or it's, a fad or whatever?
Well, I'd really like to do a little bit of screen sharing here and show you some examples and perhaps narrate over the top if everything works, because you know how technology is. All right, so I recently put a blog out about augmented reality and VR and how the need, I believe, is for them to incorporate shared experience. So, for example, here's a little animated GIF I created using Google Expeditions. And you can see in this animated GIF that the little smiley faces are actually student faces. And that's what a teacher sees in Google Cardboard and Expeditions. Now, that is a virtual reality experience. So students are using the cardboard at their face. They're looking at a coral reef, and the teacher is directing it. Again, virtual reality taking them someplace else. Google is experimenting in the same thing with Expeditions AR. And if we take a look at this animated GIF, you see that students are using selfie sticks. And the selfie sticks are adding, through Google Tango, adding three-dimensional animated objects right into the classroom. I really like this because I think it retains a level of mindfulness with the learning, the setting of the learning in the classroom. And again, it's really embracing that shared experience for all students where they're all looking at the exact same thing. So in terms of AR and VR, I love when they can allow the students and the teacher in the room all to be looking at the same thing and talking about what they're seeing. And I just think it's a powerful tool. That being said, I do think personal discovery and exploration in AR and VR is really powerful. But I also wanted to share with you some examples in the classroom where augmented reality can really be pretty awesome. One of the classic examples is Quiver. This is Quiver. Are you seeing that okay on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. So Quiver is basically like a coloring book page that comes to life. So here's my volcano. I can pick it up and turn it. I can press the volcano button and take a look at the insides. And see the liquid hot magma and all that. I think it's going to blow up too. Oh, I got to keep touching it. So if I hold this button down, it's going to blow up. It's going to get really exciting in a second here. And this is all based on a coloring book page, which I think that's kind of a cool thing and a lot more approachable for students since, again, it's a coloring book. aside from that, I had a couple things I wanted to share with you. One of them is called AR circuits. And I really think AR circuits is attractive because it's these paper QR codes that students can put together like a puzzle. And when they put the puzzle together, if they do it correctly, they will turn on a light bulb. Which, you know, I think is kind of a cool thing for students to try out without the risk of getting electrocuted, right? So now
Well,
if I
take all the fun out.
I take all the fun out of it, right? So now if I touch this little switch on my phone, it lights up the light because I correctly closed the circuit. How's that? Pretty cool?
It is really cool. So you're mentioning all these really great opportunities for the students to learn in class. So does Quiver cost anything? An AR circuit, clearly coming with the puzzles, it does, you know, you have to pay for the puzzles, it seems like. Can you address that?
Yeah, of course. So Quiver comes in 3 forms. Quiver has I'll pull this up here. So Quiver EDU, you'll notice the green butterfly there on my screen. Quiver EDU is a paid application, but there is a free one available as well. So you can try it out. AR Circuits is $1.99 for the app. And I know every time as teachers we talk about costs, you know, it's an automatic turnoff for us, but it's important to know what's coming. And, you know, the trend historically is that over time, cost will go down. And, you know, the technology becomes more accessible.
Yes, it does. And $1.99 seems reasonable to, you know, have the students not electrocute themselves. I'm sure parents would appreciate that as well.
There's that. No insurance waiver necessary.
Exactly. So what are some of the types of equipment that is needed besides the apps? Can you get this on both iOS and Android, or is one over the other?
Yeah, so the products I'm sharing with you are available generally in both platforms. There's been a couple of changes recently with Apple and Google both developing their own augmented reality platforms. So Apple has their AR Kit and Google has their AR Core, both of which are independently, divergently developing AR applications. So it's a little bit of a bummer because it's going both ways. But, you know, as a kid of the 80s thinking about Sega and Nintendo 2 different ways, you know, this is something that we're all used to. It's just something that we need to kind of deal with right now. I'm a little bit concerned about where Google's going. Google Expeditions AR is run on the Tango platform. And the Tango platform was announced very recently. It'll be canceled in March of 2018. However, I really think that Google is recognizing the power of AR and that, again, that shared experience that we see with Expeditions. So I would expect that we'll see something. Now, I should be clear, that's Expeditions Augmented Reality is run on Tango. Expeditions VR, which is much more widespread, is run on both devices pretty easily.
Excellent. Yes, my students really enjoy using their cardboards.
Cool.
Yeah. So how do you recommend teachers get started with all of this? It seems like a very vast and scary rabbit hole to kind of jump into.
Yeah, it really is. And I like Quiver. Quiver has honestly been around for almost a decade. They renamed themselves. They used to be called Color, spelled AR at the end. And there's also coloring books. So I think for teachers as well as students, it's really approachable when you look at it as a coloring book page. Even Chick-fil-A has a coloring book they were giving children out that was had a Quiver coloring book page on it that you launched through AR. The fear of getting into it is usually the biggest problem for adults. Kids generally aren't too worried about it because they're not afraid to fail. And I think that fear of failure is something as educators that we need to get over.
I agree. Yes. And it seems with the coloring books, they're already done, so we don't have to create it. There are already learning tools out there for us to use. Would allow us to create our own.
Yeah, there's 2 platforms that I would recommend that are stable and have been around. One of them has been around for a long time, and that's Aurasma. And Aurasma has been another one. It's about 8 years old. I mean, people think about augmented reality as this brand new product, and it's all flashy, and Pokemon Go is the first time ever. It's just not true. It's been around forever. I mean, even video games with heads-up displays, fighter pilots use it. You know, heads-up display where you're screen has targets or whatever on it. That's augmented reality. It's been around forever. So Erasma is one that lets you customize targets. So think of everything in the world being a QR code, everything from a $20 bill to a fire hydrant. And through Erasma, you can make the phone camera trigger a YouTube video or some preloaded three-dimensional object. A more recent one that I've been playing with, it's been around for about a year, is called Metaverse. Metaverse allows you to build your own augmented reality experiences, and those can be really powerful. They can be as simple as a quiz feature with a floating like kitty or floating head, and you click on it, it tells you what to do. But it also uses native hardware of your phone. So through Metaverse, you can ask, if you were a language other than English teacher, for example, you could ask your students to find a chair using the target language. So they would look for a chair and they would take a picture of the chair. And you can tell Metaverse to do a reverse Google image search with the camera and see if that's actually a chair. So,
oh, wow, that sounds neat.
Yeah, and so Metaverse there, it's all free. They have a really cool platform, and it's not very difficult to push it out to students either.
Oh, wow. These are really great, excellent resources that you're telling us about. So for our listeners, we will have this as part of the show notes and in our description as well to a lot of information here. Are there any last parting words that you would like to share with our listeners?
Sure. I have one more thing I want to show you, and if we have time, is that okay?
Yes.
So it's a brand new toy. It's supposed to be hot stuff. It's called Merge Cube, and I think they have it at Walmart and Target. I met these guys at ISTE, and I was pretty stoked about their product. So I'd like to pull it up for you and show you what it does. The educational applications, I think, are really powerful as well. So I'm pulling up my Merge Things application, and what it does is it takes this cube, it's foam, so it's not going to hurt anybody if we chuck it around. And this foam cube gets read very similar to a QR code. So loading up here. All right, so I'm going to click phone mode. Notice I could do it in VR if I wanted to.
We can't see your phone.
You can't see right now?
No, we just see your shirt.
Oh, well, maybe I should turn on my screen sharing. Let's try this. Are we on now?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So I got this foam cube, and I put it in front of my phone camera, and it recognizes what I'm looking at. So here's one that is a hollow body. So if I click on it, it's going to show me a heart and how the heart works.
Wow.
So
that's really cool.
The one thing that's really important to know is how fast it tracks. So the speed that I'm moving my hands, it's telling you that this is a really cool piece of software because it can track very quickly. It has a couple other ones, like, well, this one lets me look at a little Earth here. They have one application that's like a Minecraft that looks like this style.
Okay.
This one, I'm not sure of the educational value, but it lets me throw meteors at it. So it's a little creepy, but you know.
Well, you know, you can have fun and throw meteors at things and not actually blow up the planet. That's good.
Imagine that, right? And then they have other ones where the cube itself becomes like a joystick. So now I'm going to fly this jet, right? So the jet is in this weird world, and I touch the jet, and he shoots his lasers or whatever, and I'm actually flying it by moving the cube around. So while you know we look at Merge Cube as a product that's kind of, it might be a little fun, it's an idea for what's coming and how quickly things are changing in the world of augmented reality.
And as with anything in education, we take things and we move to the next level, which is always fun to see where teachers take it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was our timer. So any last thoughts before we go?
Try it out with your students. They're going to love it.
And we would love to hear what your students have to say about it as well. So thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed the show, please go ahead and leave a comment for us below and let us know students are feeling about this AR. Nancy?
Yeah. Oh, Okay, yes. So join us. Please join us. We're going to be, our next broadcast will be on Tuesday, January 2nd, because, January 1st. Our guest will be Ari Flueling, who will be talking about work-life balance and how to correctly pronounce her last name in case I messed it up. Please don't forget to subscribe to hear more about easy ways for you to innovate in your classroom. Remember, we are always looking for guests to share the great things they're doing in their classrooms. So if you know someone who fits the bill, or if you'd like to be a guest, please visit tlc.ninja and complete the contact form to let us know. Thank you, Micah, for being our guest today. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it was so much fun. And we wish all our listeners a joyous holiday season and a very happy 2018. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
See you next year, folks. I think it's wonderful. Thing. Well, at least my internet's lagging at the very end.